Hi and welcome. This is Jules Muller, founder and CEO of Chicks Connect, and I'm super excited that we have one of our amazing Chick members and our sponsor of our Las Vegas Chicks Connect Inspiration Celebration, Brianne Soscia, and she is going to talk to us about women, money, and power, how to take control of your financial future. So welcome, Brianne. We're so excited that you're here.
Thank you, Jules. Thanks for having me. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. So for those of you who don't know me personally, my name is Brianne Soscia, and I am a certified financial planner chick with Retirement Benefits Group. And my practice includes financial planning for individuals, families, and businesses. I specialize in retirement planning, investment management, college savings, and life, long-term care, and disability insurance. I live in Las Vegas with my partner, Ben, and my two daughters, Kaya and Lily, and my stepson, Bryce. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I am licensed in over 15 states, which means that I can help chicks across the country. I'm excited to share the information that I have for you today, and my goal is that you leave here feeling empowered to take control of your financial future and that you begin to define or even redefine your financial strategies for yourself, your family, and or your business. And I want the next hour or so to be as interactive as possible. The more you share about your own personal experiences, the more we can learn from each other. Please open up today, ask questions, and share your own stories. So let's get started. So the big question is, as women, why do we need a financial strategy or plan? Well, there are many reasons. First of all, our roles are evolving, and we have more responsibilities in this day and age than ever before. Like many women, you may feel financially insecure about what the future holds for you and your family. Life can come at you fast, and with this begs the question, are you financially prepared for the life-changing events that might occur? Marriage, children, divorce, sending your kids off to college, retirement, etc. Furthermore, you might find yourself as part of the sandwich generation, being faced with the challenge of caring for aging parents and raising your children at the same time. Or you may be about to retire, or you're living in retirement already, while facing longevity, the possibility of running out of money, and the challenges of increased healthcare costs. Some of you might face one or all of these challenges, and the list might seem overwhelming. But the good news is that you can be prepared. So let's take a look at each of these issues in more detail. First, we're going to take a look at women's evolving roles and increased responsibilities. So let's take a quick survey. If you're on the call and you're a college graduate, type college in the message box now. Or if you're just on the phone, you can say me. Oops, let me go back here for a second. So did you know that out of all college graduates in 2010, 57% were women, and that earnings for women with college degrees have increased by 31% since 1979, compared to only an 18% increase for male college graduates? Many of us on the call today are college graduates ourselves, and that's a huge accomplishment. Think about all of the financial opportunities that your education has opened up for you in your life. How will you manage those opportunities? How will those opportunities affect your long and short-term financial goals? Having a financial strategy in place can help you. The next area that our role as women has been evolving is in the workforce. Again, if you're on the call, on the computer, go ahead and this time type the word working in the chat box if you have your own business or you're employed full-time outside the home. Take a look at these statistics. Women are the sole or main breadwinners in a third of all US households. The percentage of women in the workforce has increased significantly since 1950 from 34% to 58%. Another great accomplishment. Women are out in the workforce earning money for themselves and their families, but once again, with the increased financial earning power comes increased financial responsibility. A financial strategy can help you manage your income effectively to meet your financial goals now and in the future. As we saw in the previous slides, we as women have accomplished a tremendous amount in society and in the economy in recent years. And while we've been making all of this impressive progress, our level of financial responsibility has also been increasing. Think about this. 54% of women consider themselves to be the chief financial officer of their household, which means that we are the ones directing the investment choices for ourselves and our families, in addition to managing the more traditional household budgeting responsibilities. Even more women, 57% surveyed, reported having a great deal of responsibility for managing the family's long-term savings and investments. How many of you manage your household finances, including investments and budgeting? Type CFO for Chief Financial Officer in the chat box now, if you do. That's a huge responsibility. With that responsibility comes the need for you to be financially educated and to have a financial strategy in place to manage that extra financial responsibility. Okay, now let's open it up for discussion. I'm looking for a few chicks who are willing to share their feelings about your financial future. For example, some of us may have feelings of security or insecurity when we think ahead. If you feel like sharing either, type secure or insecure in the chat box, and I'll ask a few of you to share why you feel this way and what gives you these feelings. Julie, would you like to share?
Sorry, I'm muted. Okay, so I didn't type anything. So I think I'm still trying to figure out if I feel secure or insecure.
Oh, sorry, I saw well both actually.
Oh, that was for both my husband and I do the finances. So it's kind of, I pay the bills, I kind of keep track of all the banking and all of that. But when it comes to actually filing the taxes, he does that. We're both going to work on investments together. We want to invest in some tax liens coming up. So that's something that's on our to-do list. You know, we went through a complete loss of everything back in 2008. And so since that time, it's been rebuilding credit, rebuilding, you know, everything from ground zero. But I don't feel insecure about it. I feel like we spent the last 8 years, you know, really learning and growing and building a business together. And my outlook and my feeling about living in this country is that people can generate income. You know, being an entrepreneur is an amazing gift. And if I were to be bedridden tomorrow, I could still do my business from my computer. And so that's a beautiful thing too. So with the internet and with everything that you can do to become an entrepreneur, I just feel like there's tremendous opportunity. Do I feel secure, like I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank? And no, not at all. But that doesn't make me feel insecure because I feel the ability to generate that. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we're just on the cusp of rebuilding our lives financially. And so I'm very hopeful for what's to come versus fearful.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Denise, would you like to share?
I was trying to type part of it in. It just feels really insecure because this is just a temporary spot in the road for us. We depend on mostly his income from the railroad and his Italy military retirement. And in 6 years, he doesn't want to work past 50, and we'll be moving back to probably Alabama, the South somewhere. All the investments we had in the military, it went to down payment on this house, which has been really not an investment. It's been a liability more than anything. Probably a bad decision. We should have probably just rented and kept that money going. But so that gives it a little insecurity and had a lot going on, so I haven't been able to really crank up my business, and what I had going kind of fizzled out because I had to go take care of my mom while she died this summer. So just a little insecurity going on right now. I'm used to having investments going, and we have none of that now. So
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, Denise. Well, Jules and Denise, you're not alone. The feeling of financial insecurity is widespread, even among women who are considered well off, in quotes, by most standards. In fact, 90% of women surveyed say that they feel somewhat financially insecure. So this is yet another key reason why you need a financial plan to combat these feelings of financial insecurity that many women face. It's not your fault. In fact, there are some lingering effects of traditional values that may contribute to your feelings of financial insecurity. So while we've been adapting to these new roles, society has been slow to keep pace with our new reality. For generations, women typically weren't educated on matters of investing in finance at home or in school. Instead of advising us to be knowledgeable and financially well prepared, parents encourage their daughters to marry well. And few school counselors and teachers encourage young women to pursue careers in finance and investing. It's important for us to become educated and confident so we can pass on valuable lessons and information to our own kids and others that need it. A study by Allianz, an American-based insurance company, shows that 59% of women do teach their children about finances. So think about what money messages you were taught as a child, and how do those messages differ from what you're teaching your own children? So I'm going to go ahead and share a personal story here. And if you have a story that you would like to share with us as well, go ahead and type the words money message in the chat box. So I was fortunate enough to grow up with a father who was also a financial advisor and was teaching me lessons about money and how to be an independent, financially secure woman from the time that I was young. And I remember when I was about to go off to college, he got me a credit card and he said, I want you to have this for emergencies. You want to open it up and start getting good credit. You want to make sure that when you use it, you pay it off every month. So he was educating me on how to become financially responsible. And it's funny, I'm 39 years old now. So over 20 years later, I still have the same credit card, and it's the only credit card that I have. And I still follow the lessons that he taught me about paying it off every month, etc. So I'm fortunate to have, positive money messages from a young age, but I know that all of us are not that fortunate to have grown up with that. Does anyone want to share?
sure, I'll share. Growing up, I had really very frugal parents. They came, basically my mom came from nothing, really poor, but she was very, very frugal, very, very intelligent. The education they got back then was terrible to about 6 years of college right now. But my dad's always been really frugal too, really good with his money. And, but the thing is there was a gap. It's like they knew this and they did this, but they really didn't sit down and teach this. And looking back, I can see that I had money when I needed it, but I wasn't taught to, I did my chores. You did your chores. You didn't get paid for them, but looking back, they didn't really tell you how to, basically have an allowance and then have to budget that, and you just got money when you needed it. And so for my children, I homeschooled them most of their education, and I took the opportunity to teach them the Dave Ramsey and Rachel Ramsey. But I started doing that. This lady that did Tupperware, she had like 5 kids and was very organized, and she homeschooled too. And I started doing what she did, not realizing that was Dave Ramsey when they were 2 and 3. So I've set them up for success more so than I was set up for success. I taught them that you do your chores and you get paid for it. You don't work, you don't get paid, and then you have to budget out there what you're going to do with that. And part of that was one of their little cans that they did was taxes. So no matter what they got, they had to tithe first, save first, do taxes, and then anything was left that they got to spend that, or chose to put it somewhere else. But in a nutshell, looking back, I took what I did not learn, that I saw that I didn't learn. Because I remember seeing other people at school, they had to budget their money. They got allowance money for their chores, and when that was gone, that was gone. Yeah. Whereas I guess I was kind of blessed in one way and kind of cursed in another, that I wasn't raised to get paid for my chores. They said, well, you're just going to do them anyway. So they kind of did me a disservice. Even though they were really financial, and they still, were very financial frugal, they didn't really pass that on.
Do you feel like you're a saver now because they were?
Pardon me?
Do you feel like you are a saver now because they were?
I don't think I struggle. I actually have to stop and think, okay, I have to budget this out. Whereas it came naturally to them, but they didn't pass that on. Right. Whereas my kids, they have to think, okay, I have this much money and I have to make that last, I have to budget it. So it kind of skipped me and hit my kids.
Right.
Yeah. So, but because I started doing it at 2 and 3 and teaching them that, it comes natural to them, whereas it's a struggle for me because that wasn't something I was set up to do. Does that make sense?
Yes, you communicated it. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So now let's take a look at some life-changing events that may also impact our financial futures. Each stage of life brings events that can reshape your financial needs and concerns and impact your ability to plan for and achieve long-term financial goals. Having a strategy in place helps you better manage your future life events. I bet most of us on the call can answer yes to at least one of the following questions. So just think about this one. Are you married? Do you have children? Do you have blended families? Have you gone through a divorce? Do you have stepchildren? Are you getting ready to send your kids to college? Are you about ready to retire or already retired? Here's a quick look at some life events and how they may impact your financial security. Career planning. As you get started in your profession, change jobs, go back to college, or move up the career ladder, you want to make sure that you're covered financially for these costs, as well as any unexpected expenditures. Family. Whether you're moving in with your partner, getting married, having your first child, or planning to send your children to college, changes in your family status mean changes in your financial needs and how you define financial security. House and home. Whether you're buying your first home or downsizing, you need the right financial strategies to help you purchase and protect the things you hold valuable. Starting a business. Becoming self-employed or starting a business is a big step that brings new challenges and responsibilities. Financial security forms the basis for your business success. Starting over. If you become divorced, widowed, or find yourself in an empty nest, changes to your family dynamics may involve challenges you didn't originally plan for, and your financial strategies can change unexpectedly. Retirement. If you want to maintain your standard of living during retirement, you have to plan carefully. As we all know, Social Security may not be enough, and making the right financial decisions now can have an enormous impact on the dynamics of your financial future. Too many women wait until a life event happens before they ever take action to put together a strategy or to address their needs. We want to be proactive instead of reactive, and that's why we're here today. So now let's take a look at another challenge that many women are currently facing or will face sometime in the future, called the sandwich generation. If you are or will be a middle-aged woman faced with the responsibilities of raising your children and serving as a caregiver for your parents at the same time, you're a member of what's become known as the sandwich generation. This situation has become much more common as the average life expectancy increases and more women have children at older ages. The sandwich generation can create high levels of stress and negatively impact the ability to plan for long-term financial security. Establishing a financial strategy can help you prepare for any financial needs that you might face with your parents, such as long-term care, while also covering needs for your children, like college planning. Establishing a financial plan and strategy early on, and then modifying it according to your changing financial goals as you move through different stages in your life, can help lower stress levels significantly. In addition to establishing a financial plan, what else can you do if you are or anticipate being in this situation? Well, here are some other things that we can do together to help reduce its emotional and financial impact. Set financial goals and reevaluate them frequently. Put a plan together to manage your debt. Create a retirement strategy and save for your children's college expenses early on if that's important to you. Next, consider doing some legacy planning with your spouse and or your parents and an estate planning attorney to learn about strategies such as passing on life lessons and values, the distribution of personal possessions, the distribution of financial assets, and final wishes and directives. Remember, you don't have to tackle all of this at once or alone. Financial professionals and estate planning attorneys can work with you and your families to establish your plans and put them into action. So now that we've looked at some of the reasons why you need a financial strategy, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. You might feel like putting a financial strategy into place sounds like a great idea, but it also sounds like a big undertaking. You might feel like you can't do it alone, and who will help you? Well, you can ease the planning process by getting the information and support you need from knowledgeable financial professionals. Think about this. Over 40% of women surveyed that the lack of sufficient knowledge is the single largest barrier to getting more involved in managing their financial situation. Don't let your own personal lack of financial knowledge keep you from reaching out to learn more about managing your money. You don't have to be intimidated by money and investing. Learning how to manage your finances might be a different experience for you, but it doesn't have to be hard. Besides helping you gain knowledge about managing your money, working with a knowledgeable financial prepared for their financial futures. Not to mention, 72% of women said that they feel more independent and self-sufficient. So, this leads to the question, now what? How do I begin taking control? So if you would like me to contact you, you can type your email in the chat box. You can also get in touch with me through Facebook or email. I'll just say my email slowly. It's bsoscia, bsoscia, at Retirement Benefits Group, RBG, National Retirement Partners, NRP.com. So again, that's bsoscia at rbgnrp.com. And I'd be honored to like answered. Okay. Is there anyone on the call who has met with me personally who may like to share the experience and what it was like and what the process looks like?
Brianne, I'm wondering if you can walk us through what
Would you like to share?
I'm wondering if you can walk us through what it's like to meet with a financial advisor for those that maybe have never met with one. Do you have to come in with all of your, tax information and investment or, assets and liabilities, or what's that initial meeting like? And then how does it go from there?
Yes, absolutely. So you can do it in person, you can do it over the phone, we can do it through Zoom. Like I said, I can work with people across the country. And you don't have to bring anything to start with. So it can start with a simple conversation. like what your needs are, have investments that you would like reviewed, I will do that. I don't charge for a consultation whatsoever. And I will offer that for free for all of my chicks. So it can start just really simply getting to know each other and you telling me what you would like help with. So before concluding today, are there any questions for me? Do you have any questions now while you're on the line? Okay. Well, thank you everyone so much for coming, and I hope that you found it helpful and empowering. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you. Wonderful. So glad you were here.